It's my pleasure to welcome you to another edition of Leisure and Travels. Today on the show, we will be taking a tour to University of Ibadan Zoological Garden. I am Omodele Oyedepo and I'll be your tour guide for today. Come along with me and let's take this tour. You're welcome to Leisure and Travels. Today on the show, I have with me Dr. Olajumoke Keji, the director of the University of Ibadan Zoological Garden. You're welcome to the show, ma.
Thank you.
Ma, could you tell us a brief history of the University of Ibadan Zoological Garden? Why was it established and what were the animals that were there at the inception?
Okay, the UI Zoo, the University of Ibadan Zoological Garden, started out with the University of Ibadan in 1948. About 1940, that's over 6 decades ago.
Yes.
It was like an attachment to the Department of Zoology, University of Ibadan. But as time went by, it became a full-fledged zoo because the animal collection was increasing and more people were coming to see the animals. So it became a full-fledged zoo in 1974. So it was opened to the public. I mean, from then till now, it has been here. And that's what we have here.
Okay. So what were the animals that we had, or the Zoological Garden had at inception?
Well, at inception, of course, you will know that there will be few animals.
Yes.
Just a few animals that can be taken care of and used for research. But by 1974, more animals were here. And we cannot now compare what we have now to what we had then and over the years before now. Particularly in the last 5 years, we have tried to increase the number of animals in the zoo. So we have quite a number of animals, different kinds of animals right now. The animal collection really increased. So right now you find animals in all sections: herbivores, carnivores, birds, primates, all sorts of animals in the garden right now.
The zoo is meant to serve as a recreational center. What is the economic implication of the zoo?
Well, our own zoo, the University of Ibadan Zoological Garden, is not just a recreational center, it's also a research center and it's a conservation center. So we sort of like entertain visitors when they come because the animals are there and they are interesting to look at and to watch. And it's also a hub of research because it's in the university environment.
Yes.
So we have lots and lots of researches going on pertaining to the animals and the environment and all that. And then we also do conservation. Now, we don't just keep animals in cages. We keep them in enclosures that we have made sure are simulating the natural environment of the animals so that they can behave normally and reproduce. Now, I'm sure you know that some animals are going extinct.
Yes.
Like you might find some animals now, in a few years, you don't see them again. That's what I mean by going extinct. We have had some that have gone extinct.
Yes.
Now, we don't want that to continue. Now, the world is an ecosystem. Once you remove a particular organism from the ecosystem, there's an imbalance. So we need to preserve what is in the ecosystem so that there can always be a balance. Now, for example, our West African lions, for instance, we have like 1,000, less than 1,000 left in the wild. And when we say less than 1,000, we know that's a problem.
Yes.
And we have maybe 400 real West African, once we find the West African, and that's a big deal. That's an alarming thing. So what we need to do now is to make sure that they do not go extinct. Okay. Now, the West African lions are different from the ones you have in East Africa. Okay, they're different from the ones you have in Asia. So we must preserve them. We must preserve their gene stock. So what we do in zoos is sometimes zoos are the last place or the last bus stop where you can actually have the procreation of animals. Yes. So what we do is that we'll make sure that they are comfortable, that they are well taken care of, health-wise, enclosure-wise, and they're able to breed. That's why in 2012, we were very happy when our lions had 4 cubs. Wow. I mean, you can hardly find that even in the wild. So it was a big deal for us. So we want them to reproduce. Now, when they reproduce, there are 2 things the zoo can do. The zoo can actually send some back to the wild, okay, and keep some for exhibition, yes. Okay, just to make sure that there is continuity, there is a continuous breeding. of these animals. Now, not just the lions. We have other animals that are endangered. When I say endangered, they are going extinct.
Into
I mean,
extinction.
very few left in the world. For example, the crown crane bird. Recently, because of all this upgrading and I mean all the things we've done in the zoo, we had the crown crane bird lay eggs, and for the first time, we hatched the eggs itself and raised the baby up to, I mean, adult. It was
Wow.
fantastic,
Wow.
you know. And that is a bird that is endangered. We also have some other animals that are endangered in the zoo, like the mandrill monkeys, for instance. So we're really excited about this thing. So the zoo is not just for entertainment; it's also for conservation, for education, for research, and then entertainment.
Okay. Now, with over 100 species of animals, what is the cost implication of feeding the animals and maintaining them?
Well, the zoo is not easy to maintain a zoo. For example, just as I told you, we have many kinds of animals here. But I will just take the lion as an example again. To feed one lion in a year, just one, we have like 6. One of them will be costing close to like 1 million naira.
Wow.
Okay? And that is just feeding. I've not talked about health needs, enclosure, maintenance, and all that. So to keep a zoo is not a child's play. Okay? You must make sure that there's enough money to run the zoo, not just keep animals as if they're in prison. They must be comfortable.
Yeah.
We have vet doctors coming in, we buy drugs, we take care of them. That is why you find well-maintained zoos, animals that are there live longer than the animals in the wild because they are well taken care of. So to run a zoo is a lot of money. That is why from the gate fees, from other fees we charge, we try to make sure that we're able to take care of the animals that we have. It's a very expensive thing, very expensive. So what we do, apart from the gate fees, we also ask people to donate.
Okay.
And that is what zoos all over the world depend on, donations.
Very
And
important.
we have been fortunate here recently in the last 5 years. We've had fantastic donations
Okay.
running into millions of naira. And that is fantastic to me. That is noteworthy. We still have some individuals in this country who know or who knows the value of wildlife. Okay, so and I think that is a good thing. You know, when we're able to preserve these animals, our children's children will be able to see them.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
they will. It's not that they were reading inside textbook. There was once a lion, or there was once a peacock.
Yeah.
You know, but they will be able to see
Seen it
firsthand.
live.
Okay, and I have been able to travel to many countries, and I have been able to see that. I mean, for example, the last time I traveled to Canada, I was able to see the panda. I was able to see this Arctic bear. You know, so those are. I mean, and if you know the story of the panda, it's getting wiped out. There are
They're
very
going into
few,
extinction.
very few left in the world. And for me to see it, it was fantastic to me. But there was a time I was in South Africa and I thought I must see penguins today by all means. And I stayed at the beach till night. You know,
Just to
and
see the
I finally saw
penguins.
one. But I thought I shouldn't have taken that trouble because by the time I traveled to other places, penguins were everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, it's a big deal when we are able to preserve these animals and your generations, I mean, those to come are able to see them instead of reading. What you see is better than what you read. It sticks better, you know, than what you just see on the pages of the book. But when you can see, it's a lot of education. So we spend a lot. We spend a lot here. I mean, to take care of the animals.
Okay, Matt, you said something about traveling out of the country. You saw animals like penguin. So why don't we have such animals here?
Well, you know, the environment matters.
Yes.
Some animals will not exist in the tropics because it is not where they are found naturally. Okay, of course you can bring them and try to simulate what you have in those kind of countries here in a built-up enclosure, but it will be extremely expensive. But that is what they do in London Zoo, by the way. They have the tropical forest in London Zoo, so they're able to keep the animals we have in the tropics in that zoo. That is a lot of money. But I mean, you won't bring a temperate region animal here to come and make it go through some sufferings, except you know that you have the means
Yes,
to
the
keep
facilities.
the facility to simulate that temperature that will exist in, you know, and that is a lot of money. Okay, so if you don't have the means, then don't even try it. So it's better to see it where it exists.
But the zoo management, do they have plans to get more animals? Like I can see, we don't have an elephant here. There's no There's no chimpanzee. Yeah, I don't know if there's chimpanzee,
We
but
have chimpanzees.
okay, cheetah. There's some animals that are not available here. So does the management of the zoo have plans to get more animals?
Yes, we do. Just as I told you, we are on an animal acquisition drive.
Okay.
Recently, we wrote the National Parks Abuja for hippopotamuses, and it has been approved, so they are on the way.
So we should be expecting
exactly, and we're
hippopotamus
also
soon.
expecting our zebras.
Wow.
Okay, but right now we have so many. We have giraffes, we have chimpanzees, baboons, lions, jackals, honey badgers. You know, so many animals. So and we're still getting more. Okay, we're getting more.
Yeah. With the recent renovation of the zoo, do we have more people coming to visit the zoo? Tourists, do they visit the zoo more now that the zoo has been renovated?
Yeah, people love good things.
Yes,
they know when there's good development and they want to be a part of it. I've had so many testimonies. Okay? They won't even know that I'm working here. I'll just be walking and people will be talking, have you been to the UI Zoo? You know, if in fact, you know, if you get there, that's changed. So people, you know, it's like you are not even the only one marketing yourself now. One-on-one, people are, you know, I go to Lagos and I hear people talking about the zoo, you know, and you know, somebody just called me recently and said, I was on the plane and they were talking so much about the UI Zoo, what exactly is happening there, you know, and that is a joy, you understand, it's a joy. So now people coming, they just want to come and see, that place has changed. You know, it is now, I mean, the animals are doing well. I mean, the whole place is all done up. You know, the environment is so good. So you can actually come here in the morning and go at night. You know what I mean? We have garden lights. We have some people coming for cocktails at night. So it's a whole lot of change. And we're happy about it.
Yeah, that's a good thing. So what's the traffic like? How often do people visit the zoo? Because I know it's usually during public holidays and weekends. So do we have people visiting the zoos during the week too?
Oh yeah, people visit every time. If you look out from this window right now, you see so many cars parked in front of the zoo. So every day we have excursion groups from schools, primary, secondary, people from outside the country, graduate students, you know. So we have people all the time. And then we also have IT students. Okay. And while we were talking about costs for the zoo, there's another thing we do here in the zoo, apart from seeking for donations. Right now we also have an adoption scheme. Okay. So
adopt an animal?
Yeah, exactly. Wow. So many people have called me. Are we going to take the animals home? I said, can you manage a lion?
Yeah, I was just going to ask, you know, when they adopt the animals.
Yeah. So we try to explain to people that what we mean by adoption is that you sort of like point out the animal of your interest. Okay. And then we tell you how much it will cost to feed the animal, to take care of the health needs, to maintain the enclosure. And then we tell you this is the bill for a year. Oh, this is the bill for a month. And if you really want to adopt the animal, you can just pick up the bill. I've seen somebody pick up the bill for the peacock, for instance. Lucy of Usiekiti, Orokoyotu. You know, he picked up the bill for the peacock, and now we will put his name. Because that is his
so everybody can see that
child right now. So everybody will see his name on the cage of the peacock, which is adopted. So that's his wild child. Yeah, that's a good one. So he has promised to take care of that animal for the next 5 years, and we are very happy about it.
Yes, we are happy too. Okay, so I'd like to ask the business aspect of the zoo. Are people allowed basically to run their businesses?
Yeah, we have some shops in the garden, shops that meet the needs of visitors. Okay. We have those who sell snacks. We also have the butchery ourselves. We have those who sell children's books. We have toys. You know, we have, even food, snacks. You know, so when you come to the zoo, you can actually relax. Okay. I mean, everything you need is at the tip of your
So they don't even have to bring their food from home. They have everything right here.
There's no need. And we have sit-outs. We have swimming pool. You know, right now. Beautiful. The reptile house right now can compete with any reptile house, any serpentarium, anywhere in the world. When you finish, you get there and you see. So it's a lovely place. The ape enclosure has become a mecca of some sort. You know, people take so many pictures there, and I keep on seeing pictures on the internet. And it's amazing. Yeah.
So, the business side of the garden. What's the business side of the garden in respect to the business of the vendors?
Of course they do. Yes. You have to pay to get a shop here. You understand what I'm saying? So it's not free. So that's another way of generating money. And all the money we generate is to take care of these animals, to make sure that the staff too are okay. and then to make sure there's good security on ground all the time. So we generate money from the shops.
Okay. There was news several years back that the pastor came to the zoo to pray for the to pray for the lions. So have we ever had any other occurrence outside that, or what has the zoo done to stop such thing from reoccurring?
Well, that was many years ago. But right now, it's very difficult for anybody to do that in the zoo. One of the first things I did when I came in as a director was to actually remove all the trees around the lion enclosure. So there's no tree for you to climb in. Dump inside the fence of, inside the enclosure of the lion. That's number one. Then number two, we have security men on the ground 24/7. The whole place right now is wired with CCTV cameras. So there's nowhere you are. We are watching you. So whatever you do, we will know. So before you do anything, we'll catch you. So we also try to educate people. There are signages everywhere. Do not throw things, do not feed the animals, do not go beyond the barrier rail. So signages everywhere. And I mean, a lot of education and a lot of zookeepers and curators to keep people in check.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ma, for having us. We are very grateful, and I'm very sure the people out there will be very happy with the information we have gotten. So the zoo is not only for recreational center, you could also come for research, you could come, yes, for your excursions. Thank you very much, Ma. Yes, Ma.
Thank you.